How does a young woman with no wilderness skills survive for 2 years completely alone in the merciless Arctic after all her male companions perish? This is the unbelievable true story of Ada Blackjack, the relentless survivor of Wrangel Island. Her tale isn't just about survival. It's a story of courage that rewrites the history books, proving that the greatest heroes are often the ones we hear about the least. Born in an Inupiat community in Alaska, Ada Blackjack was raised by missionaries. They taught her English, sewing, and how to keep a house, but not the traditional hunting and survival skills of her people. Her life was marked by hardship early on, after an abusive husband abandoned her and their sick son. Bennett Ada was desperate. She walked 40 miles to the town of Nome, carrying her child, only to face poverty that forced her to place him in an orphanage. Her heart ached with a single goal: earn enough money to bring Bennett home. In 1921, an opportunity arose. An expedition was heading to the remote Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean to claim it for Canada. They needed a seamstress. The pay was good, and for Ada, it was a ticket to reuniting with her son. She joined 4 male explorers and a cat named Victoria, stepping into a world she was utterly unprepared for. From the very beginning, she was an outsider, the only woman, the only Indigenous person, surrounded by men who often treated her with hostility. She was terrified of the vast icy wilderness and the constant threat of polar bears. The expedition, planned for 2 years, quickly turned into a nightmare. In 1922, the supply ship that was supposed to retrieve them couldn't break through the thick sea ice. They were stranded, with dwindling food and fading hope. As the brutal Arctic winter closed in, the situation grew desperate. In January 1923, 3 of the men decided to risk a journey across the frozen sea toward Siberia to find help. They walked into the white void and were never seen again. Ada was left behind with the last remaining explorer, Lorne Knight, who had fallen gravely ill with scurvy. The young woman who had been hired to sew clothes was now his only caretaker and their last hope for survival. All her fears had to be pushed aside. She had to learn, and she had to learn fast. Driven by the thought of her son, Ada taught herself to hunt. She learned to set traps for Arctic foxes, to build a proper shelter against the crushing cold, and to handle a rifle to protect herself from polar bears. She reinforced their tent, built a rack for the guns, and repaired their worn-out gear, doing everything she could to keep them both alive. But in June 1923, Lorne Knight died, leaving Ada completely and utterly alone, with only the cat, Victoria, for company. For the next 7 to 8 months, she faced absolute isolation on one of the most desolate islands on Earth. Temperatures plunged to -48 degrees Celsius. Loneliness was a constant enemy, but despair was a luxury she couldn't afford. She built a small boat from driftwood and animal skins, constructed an observation platform to watch for bears, and meticulously managed her scarce resources. Every day was a fight, fueled by a single, powerful image: her son's face. Finally, in August 1923, a ship appeared on the horizon. A rescue party led by Harold Noyce found a small, resilient figure standing on the shore. Ada Blackjack was alive. The press hailed her as the female Robinson Crusoe, the lone survivor of a doomed expedition. Her story was sensational, but her life afterward was anything but. While the expedition's leader profited from her incredible tale, Ada received very little recognition or financial reward and lived much of her life in poverty. For decades, her story was just a footnote in the grand male-dominated sagas of Arctic exploration. But today, we see Ada Blackjack's story for what it truly is, a powerful testament to the underestimated strength and ingenuity of Indigenous women. She didn't just survive, she outthought, outwilled, and outlasted one of the harshest environments on the planet. Ada Blackjack's legacy is a beacon of resilience, a profound narrative of a mother's love and the incredible power of the human spirit to endure against all odds. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by Ada's story, please like this video and subscribe for more tales of incredible people from history.